Hello, lads and ladies, and welcome back for another episode of League One Live. An eventful one, put it that way. A perfect weekend if you're a Wigan fan, not a perfect weekend if you're a Bolton fan. Some shock away results, some new management, maybe Horizon as well. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay in the chat down below. But before we do so, let's bring him in. Hello to my co-host, Jake. How are we, mate? Hang on a minute. There we are.
Are we getting it right tonight, Ben, or what we're doing?
We're getting it right, mate. How are we? Talk to me.
I'm good, mate. I had a great weekend down in Peterborough. I saw us score a goal at London Road for the first time in nearly 20 years. But no, mate, it was good. We've announced our new podcast today, which was exciting, and no, it's been a decent weekend, mate. It's been productive today. I've done some graphic design work. I've done some been to the tip like an old man. What about you? You were halfway through a mega workout when I spoke to you this morning.
I was in the gym, upper session today, and then 45, 50 minutes, I'd say, and then straight onto the treadmill to do a 6.5 mile run. After I did a 4 mile run before the game yesterday, and oh my lord, my hamstring. Oh, it's not in a good way that it looked like I get through a 6.5 mile run. Congratulations on your podcast as well. Really good. A lot of hard work is going to go into it, and let's hope this one lasts longer than 2 weeks.
Yes, very good.
I've had longer relationships than actually.
Have you? And who was that with?
Shut up.
Come on. We've got someone to wish happy birthday to, haven't we?
Oh, hello. Oh, yeah. A happy birthday to Dan, who celebrates his 21st birthday today. A very happy birthday. And
happy birthday, Dan Richardson.
Thank you for the support you give to us too, but also our good old friend, Thomas Chappell, who don't think he's going to be in a good mood tonight. I thought I'd leave a call tonight. Evening, men. Quick couple of questions. What's Jake's podcast called, and has it started yet? I don't know, and I don't know.
You do know because you followed the chaps on Twitter, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, if I thought I'd let you answer it. You don't get this YouTube game,
I can tell you what it's called, Richard. It's called Here for the Lincoln. First episode is being recorded tomorrow, and we will be released Tuesday morning. So keep your eye on your feeds for all of that.
Yes. Hello, David. We are going to come to that very shortly. Yeah, we started already. I thought it'd be bad. We are back after Rotherham. Full credit to Huddersfield must go as well. And not a good weekend for the Wolves. What score did that even end up?
2-1. It was a great finish from Harvey Barnes, wasn't it?
Oh, it's an equaliser. Harvey Barnes. And then first, yeah, okay. Charlton doing a really good job. Good evening. Hello, Sue. I hope you're well. I've just backed Evatt more. Yeah, okay. We will come to these comments in a minute. The League 2-1 will be tomorrow. Thank you for asking, Lewis. 8 o'clock start for that.
Hey, well done on your big win yesterday, Lewis, at Grimsby. Much appreciated. Good work.
Shall we start off with Bolton Wanderers 0, Huddersfield 4, and
maybe a place to start, isn't it?
I've got no words for this. Now, when I was going stats before, I thought, right, I need to go over a longer term picture because this Bolton Wanderers decline isn't just 4 games. It's been a length of time. Now, look at them this year. They are the lowest goal scorers in the division. They scored 2 goals all year, and both of those were in victory over Leyton Orient. They have got the 4th worst defence for a side that play 5 defenders. How can that be? For a side that I don't think should play a back three, I think that's half the problem. And they are trying to shoe in Ricardo Santos, who is unbelievable in the back three and has been in, I think, team of the season every year. He's been at Bolton. I'm not going to slag him off, but I don't think he's good enough in the back four. I think loyalty needs to be taken out of this equation, and Bolton just need to do what's best for the whole team. Let's go to a back four. You've got too many similar players in that team. And Evatt, in my eyes, has favourites. Dempsey hooked after an hour again yesterday. I thought, especially at Wembley, when I watched him, he was the best player on the park in that second half. He really gave it something as well. The 20th in terms of expected goals for a football club and a manager that raves over this. We're full throttle, playing out from the back. Cost them their 4th goal yesterday. Embarrassment, pathetic. Laboured, soft, slow, sluggish, not running for each other, not moving for each other. Back, don't care. You're Bolton Wanderers, you've got 20,000 home fans in that crowd. Be better, is my message. 18th in terms of shots on target. Look, you've got the 5th most passes in the league. Let Bolton have the ball. So slow. Sit behind the ball, and you can counteract them. 7th lowest expected goal XG conceded. And they are getting punished for mistakes. It's as simple as that. Yesterday, they conceded it. They created expected goals of 0.13. And in 2024, for a football club of Bolton Wanderers standards, they've won 12 out of 31 matches. They've lost 9, drawn 10. They've scored 48. And in 31 games, they've conceded 52 goals. That is 46 points across 31 games. For me, that's nowhere near good enough. That's somewhere if you want to be a mid-table side this year, which is fine for a lot of clubs in this division, but you're Bolton Wanderers. And you can say they played Huddersfield, you can say they played Wrexham, Charlton away, Exeter at home. I'll say it again, you're Bolton Wanderers, you're 20,000 home support. And one last thing before I let you in, to go out and say the negativity around the play since the final, you don't know what it is, you need your players to be confident because that's how you play. I thought was quite I didn't like that. I didn't like the way he said that. For me, it's your job to pick the players up, to pick the fans up, because you've just lost in the playoff final and you've been awful, sluggish, slow, didn't turn up. 40,000 Bolton fans pay out good hard-earned money, a couple of £100 on average each, I'd say. Food, drinks, accommodation, ticket prices, to be let down by that. And it's not, this is a 2-year frustration, this. It really is. But it's boiled down to this moment. And they said they're going to talk to the owner. Well, it's going to be a big decision. Sharon Britton is a good friend of Ian Evatt. They've worked together for 5 years. They are going to be, they've been through the good times, they've been through the bad. Ian Evatt has given Bolton the best memories some of their fans has ever had since the Premier League days. A trophy, playoff semi-final. But I just didn't like the way he slagged off the supporters. I think Reading at home, if they lose that, in the words of Oasis, they'll be talking tonight.
That was good for you, Nappers. Do you know what? There's not really a lot more that I can say on the situation. Yeah, I think when we were walking out of Wembley, Ben, obviously we were in the Bolton end, weren't we? That I felt a lot of Bolton fans were saying Evatt will probably walk or will need to walk. And sometimes you do wonder, don't you? Because if it happened shortly after the playoff final, Bolton will have had multiple weeks, time to bring in a replacement. However, they've sort of let it drag on a little bit, and I know it's not the same, maybe a little bit based on similar to the Paul Simpson at Carlisle.
Yes.
He's that good. He's been that important for Bolton over the last 5 years. They've maybe given him more time than what they have done. And then you've seen the start of this season, but playing under him, they're not playing as well as they didn't. I've spoken to Cole from the fan zone about this, and he said, whatever, in League One, Bolton Wanderers should be looking to win every home game. Every game against any team they play at home in Sky Bet League One. And and I agree with the expectation, but he says next weekend they're going into the Reading game with more hope than expectation because of how their team are playing. They're not playing. Well, you look at the goals yesterday and the mistakes, all of them, just mistakes. Yeah, Huddersfield have done well to score 4 goals, and I'll come on to Huddersfield in a minute because I don't want it would be unfair to not give Huddersfield immaculate credit after going to Bolton and beating them 4-0. Because rewind the clock a year ago, think of the praise that Wigan got when they went there and won 4-0. So we will get on to Huddersfield, but just the mistakes.
That is a joke, by the way. That is a joke.
It's a joke.
I'm going to be all over Bolton Twitter later on for that.
I'm looking forward to Chris Dawson calling me that bloke from Lincoln again. It should be.
Yeah, you know how far they've come. We've been slagged off to every week that we're saying, "Oh, the fan zone, what a good group they are." I agree with you. I just think that the performance next weekend will. If Bolton win 1-0 next weekend and don't play well, there'll still be a large portion of the fans that says Evatt out. They need to next week, I think, win 2-3-0, play well, create lots of chances, be on the front foot. A bit like England at the minute. I think Lee Carsley, I think everyone's his best mate. And I'm like, well, England would have done the exact same under Gareth Southgate against Ireland, against Finland. And he's been there 5 years. And one thing I'll say, I think they were 19th in January in League Two. He won promotion. He's been through a lot of sticky spells as Ian Evatt. I think he's very patchy. I think he won't win for 5, but then he'll pull 5, 6 results together. How have they done that? Going on to Huddersfield, because I know we said it, Josh Koroma, great to see him scoring goals. Three goals already in an assist. He only got 6 last year. He struggled at Portsmouth as well. They've won 4 or 5 matches. They won 9 games last year. They've won 2 away matches. They only won 3 last year. So huge improvement already. And expected goals are 2.44. Obviously, I know they had a penalty. Look, Duff size are hard to break down. Good defensively. 5 highest possession. 5th best defense. 4th best defense. Sorry. In terms of goals going forward, you've got Ben Wiles, who got 10 goals, 7 assists in 21-22. You've got a midfielder that can score goals. You've got Anthony Evans chipping in as well. Great performance, a great scoreline, and some could say it had 4-0 written all over it.
Yeah, 4 big chances for Huddersfield at Bolton, 16 shots is a phenomenal output. And I watched the goals back yesterday. The build-up play is just so slick, and it's just so Michael Duff. The way they get the ball out wide and they put a cross into the box. Is it the first goal that's a perfect example of that, where Koroma just flicks it past Baxter? Huddersfield were unbelievable yesterday. It was probably their best performance of the season, and we say it so many times that Michael Duff teams get better. And I think we said it after the one of the most recent home game. Or is it they won another game, didn't they? They won a big game at home, and we said if this is Michael Duff's team now,
Stevenage and Shrewsbury at home.
Imagine what they're going to be like come the end of the season. Peterborough away, that was it. Just pure domination, even though, and this is what gripes me. A lot of fans say it's so important to have, we dominated the game when we had more of the ball. You don't need the ball to win games whatsoever.
No.
You look at Wrexham, you look at Lincoln, you look at Huddersfield. Such good teams don't need the ball to score goals and progress. And Huddersfield yesterday, as soon as they won the ball back from Bolton, who were dilly-dallying it around with the back, straight in on goal, really caused Bolton some issues and scored the 4th goal. And the 4th goal was the absolute epitome of it, isn't it? Where Josh Sheehan and Nathan Baxter make absolute tits of themselves, and it's a good finish from Evans. So yeah, massive credit to Huddersfield. Really good win. Bolton, does Evatt go? Maybe. But I've seen a couple of shouts from a certain Bolton fan in there that they're after Michael Skubala. Not a chance, my boy.
I will jump in there, and we have, I think, very slightly different views on how football should be played. And I'll be honest with you, I'm very different to the rest of the T-Flop boys. That I think that you boys like dominating possession. You like having lots of the ball, being, playing out from the back, playing pretty football. And I genuinely do believe that managers these days are very scared to be labelled with, a bit like Big Sam used to be. But Phil Parkinson gets labelled with. Phil Parkinson's football isn't long ball at all. What I like is I don't mind playing out from the back, but I like throw your ball out to your wing backs. Wing backs get high. Play into midfield, pass, move. Fleetwood did it yesterday where it was one touch, bang. So more effectively, front-footed, quick football, slick football. Play it now while the pitches are nice and, nice and moist. I'll use it. It's not bobbly. It's a good time of the year to play your football. But play fast football. Get the ball forward as quickly as you can in transition. And this playing out from the back, I just don't buy into it in League One. And I don't think Bolton adapt. Huddersfield will adapt under Michael Duff. Michael Duff can go away at Bolton, win 4-0. But then next week, like Shrewsbury, they didn't play great. They got over the line. Stevenage, they won 2-1. I think it was a late penalty as well. Peterborough played really well. They were looking at Rotherham, but they found a way. Rotherham found a way against Huddersfield. It's finding a way to win, and Michael Duff will do that. We will come on to the next game. If you're in the stream, please that'd be massively appreciated. It's free to do so. And if you want to get involved in the chat down below, it'd be massively appreciated. All you need to do is press subscribe, and you're very welcome to type into the chat if you've never seen our face, or if you're enjoying the show, a subscribe would go a long way. Bristol Rovers, Jake, I'll let you do the talking on this one. Now, it was a first loss at home for them. My worry on Bristol Rovers, before we credit Wigan, now, this is a side that I'd say are maybe a year and a half behind you in terms of where they want to be at.
Mm-hmm.
This is a side that want to get into the playoffs. Yeah? Their home form in the last 26 matches hasn't been up to standard. They've won 10 games. They've lost 10 games, drawn 6. If you want to be competitive, you've got to, in my eyes, from 26 games, you've got to look at winning a good 16, maybe draw 4, lose 6. Talk to me.
Yeah, this was a really weird game, and I watched the preview with Charlie Hayne and Central Wigan. I think Charlie's actually in the chat now, and he actually got the prediction pretty much spot on from what I could tell. He said, and I listened to him, Wigan are due to surprise somebody. They've not played well all season, and they're just due to surprise somebody, and they did that yesterday. Thought they were excellent. They didn't have, again, similar to, looking at the momentum graph, they didn't have all the ball. They didn't have all the game. It was pretty even in terms of possession. But they had 8 big chances, Ben, and they took the big chances when they came along. And you're looking at that front line for Wigan. Joe Hugill, we've seen him before at Burton, but is clearly a centre forward with a bit of pedigree and has scored. I think he scored on Sky, didn't he, away at Derby last season for Burton. Fellow Asgard, we've seen him do it in the Championship for a couple of years now. And then you're looking at the other group of players. Jensen Weir's a decent player at this level. Matt Smith, Luke Chambers, who we saw at Wigan last year. They're a good side, Wigan, and it terrifies me because we actually play them next week. But Charlie said that they're just due to surprise somebody, and this result, I think, has sent a bit of a shock to the rest of the league because you looked at Wigan's fixtures, Ben, before. Certainly that Crawley game, they didn't play very well and got a smash and grab win. They played pretty well at Blues, but succumbed to a last-minute winner. And then Reading away, they were really poor as well. So that's a really good result for Wigan. Really big in terms of the way that they played. Fantastic. I think we can see what Sean Maloney's trying to do now with that young Wigan team. And so many of them, Ben, have come through the academy. Sam Tickle, James Carragher, Carragher's lad played with Jensen Weir, Thello Asgard. So they're a team that are doing it the right way. As for Bristol Rovers, well, Ben won't be incredibly happy with how they played yesterday. Just really passive, had the ball and didn't particularly do a lot with it. A lot of play in the middle to bat third. Looking at the player ratings now, only one player scored above the 7 yesterday. Jake Garrett looked like he had a decent game, but yeah, Bristol Rovers, for a team that want to get into the playoffs, and I think they're probably just behind that gaggle of teams that are trying to get for 6th.
I disagree. I think they're miles off. I think
they're in that next gaggle.
I think they're 5 or 6 teams off. I think I genuinely think 5 or 6 teams will finish above them that don't get in the playoffs. I like Bristol Rovers are a good football club.
I think they'll.
Terry's a good player. He's good 1 in 6. They haven't got the pedigree enough to be good consistently, or 1 in 2. They're a 1 in 4 team. They'll play really well 1 in 4. They'll get a good result. But I just don't. I don't see improvement from last year at all.
I don't know. I think there has been, because I think you look at the home games they played this season.
Okay.
They've won 2 and lost 1, right?
100%.
I like what Matt Taylor's trying to do, Ben, because Matt Taylor is trying to work with is brought in younger players who have got things to prove. Camille Conte, I think it's an unbelievable sign. It was amazing for Gateshead, was really good for Grimsby. Isaac Hutchinson, the same. Promise on a Cherry is only young. I like what he's trying to do. I'm not saying he's got it nailed down after 5 games, but I think that what he's trying to implement, I think in the long term, if he's given that opportunity, which the issue at Bristol Rovers is, he might well not be offered that opportunity.
I
like what he's trying to do.
Yeah, I like what they're trying to do. And they had an aging squad under Joey that won them promotion in a certain way. That squad should have won promotion. It squeaked over the line in great fashion, and they'll be remembered because of that. But, you know, and to be fair, Joey Barton, he's not on the most hated list of men ever, but, you know, he was always great with me. But one thing I will say, I like what they're trying to do. You see they've improved. I think the standard of League One's improved. I think, okay. Yeah. And what I mean by that, and I think that you weren't seeing, is, yes, they've improved, but I also think, well, Stockport have come up and are better than Bristol Rovers. Mm-hmm. Wrexham have come up and are better than Bristol Rovers. Mm-hmm. Rotherham have come down, Huddersfield have come down, and both are better. And Birmingham, that's 5 teams all of a sudden. So all of a sudden, then you've got them 5 teams, and then you've got Peterborough, Barnsley, Lincoln, potentially Blackpool if they put the act together as well. You know, you've got other clubs as well that maybe 1 or 2 others. So all of a sudden, I think Bristol Rovers are then there. So they've not gone on like other clubs have. Other clubs have improved with Bristol Rovers. It's just Bristol Rovers have gone from, I think, a 6.5 to a 7, whereas others have gone from a 7 to a 9 or have stayed an 8, haven't got weaker. So there's no dig on Bristol Rovers. They're a great football club. I think Bristol Rovers away is one of my most favourite away games because it's a proper football ground and you know what you're going to get. So, you know, all the best on that. Now, Stevenage will come to you. Great result. Matt Farley.
Did you see the TikTok of Gab outside?
Now, I would say that he was smiling, he was happy, he was excitable, and he was patting like Gab like he was a dog. But that's Matt Farley after a 3-0 defeat. What a guy he is. I love the bloke.
Yeah.
They've won 2 home matches now, which is good. Reed is back. He completed the most. I think he completed 100% of passes, so the link-up play was good. Liss scored 4 goals last year, 2 already off the bench. 2 minutes after coming on, he scores. Pietriani, again, 64 career goals in 500. He did very well for Boston, Salford. Obviously, he had a spell at Oldham, and then, you know, now in League One, I think he's probably the most important player in that team. I think that you missed a Jamie Reed.
Video on that, then?
I did do a video on that, yes.
Set that out, people, if you haven't already.
Absolutely. 7 points from 5 matches. They're 3 points worse off because they started off last year really well. I think they won 3 of the first 4, didn't they? They lost to Cambridge, you know, from memory as well. Big 3 games for them now for how they push on. Exeter and Wigan away, then Charlton at home, which will be a tough game. A good win for them. What do you think?
Well, just on Stevenage, I thought first half, I thought it looked pretty even, to be honest. Lots of possession for both sides, and momentum sort of shows that Stevenage had their patches. Barnsley, we know, with their midfield, you know, the starting midfield they played yesterday, Ben, of Matty Craig, Luke O'Connell, and Adam Phillips. They had Keeler Dunn on the left and Barry Cotter on the right. That's a very good sort of midfield unit, isn't it? And we know that can dominate games. In the first half, Stevenage sort of struggled to break it down, but the second half is what I really want to talk about, specifically with Stevenage. They were dominant, like completely dominant. They were pinging the ball around really nicely. By all accounts, Eli King was probably the best player on the pitch. He's joined on loan from Cardiff. He was with Morecambe, I believe, last year. Played really well for them. Made the step up and looked phenomenal in there with Harvey White and Nick Freeman. And the goals, you know, I think a lot's been, you know, Stevenage have brought in a lot of strikers, Ben. Jake Young, Louis Appere, Tyree Simpson. Obviously, they already had Presley, Big Goal Reedy. Well, I'm going to make the point about Liss. Liss was probably pushed down the pecking order, and a lot of Stevenage fans would have said, after all these arrivals, well, you know, Liss is probably someone that we could see leave or could go out to League Two. I remember speaking to Farley, Listy's right down the pecking order now, but you've got to give him, it's Eli.
Yeah, it is. But who did Fleetwood have as a centre half last year? on loan from
Elijah
Everton.
Campbell.
Yeah. Eli Campbell. Please never,
Oh,
ever.
get over it.
Do you need a left-footed centre-half? Because
No, we've got Sean Rowan, probably one of the best in the league.
Eli Campbell's better. Miles better.
But yeah, Elliot List has had to work really hard to get to the front of that pecking order, and yesterday he came off the bench. I think he's put himself in the forefront of Alex Ravel's mind to start next week, because the 2 goals are really good. The middle goal as well from Piergiani, classic Pidge in it from a corner, bullet header. He's so difficult to handle in the area, and just a really, really good win for Stevenage. So happy with how they played, especially in that second half. They cut this Barnsley team open, and Barnsley, Ben, and Darryl Clark referred to it in the post-match. I think Darryl Clark said they were a 3 out of 10. And this is the thing with Barnsley. We saw it last year. They can play really well, like they did against Bristol Rovers. I thought they were pretty good. And then the next week, they're just a little bit inconsistent, a little bit like Marmite. They go and drop a performance like they did yesterday. So for Barnsley to be in that conversation for the playoffs, I think they're going to have to shore up that consistency, a little bit like Bristol Rovers in a way. But
the midfield though, Barnsley have got is unbelievable. When it's on, I think the one thing they've got this year, and it was very interesting. Kershaw's ears are going to prick up here, but now they've got Matty Craig playing slightly deeper, and Luca Connell, you imagine, will be slightly further up. And Luca Connell for the last 2 years has been the reason why Herbie Kane and Adam Phillips have had the joy that they've had, or now that Keeler, Dunn and Phillips will have. Connell has been that spring. He'll get 3 goal comps a season, but he'll do all the hard yards, and without him, you won't get goals from Phillips and you won't get goals from Keeler Dunn because they're limited then. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Matty Craig can bring. I don't think he's been the player as has been at Doncaster so far, but I think they've got Benson on the way back as well. And defensively, they've got good options. They will get there. I genuinely believe that.
Do you think?
Lost in 5 matches. What?
I don't know. I don't think even though they've strengthened the forward line, I don't think it. Stephen Humphreys for me was a decent, but it's not enough.
He's the team to pick up, but they'll finish in the top 10. I genuinely think that they'll finish in the top 10.
Yeah,
the
just about.
I don't think we'll get in the playoffs, but getting to January, maybe 4 points off the playoffs. Also, by the way, I do need to come back to this of bloody Links before who gifted a membership. Sorry, Links, I did put it up. Thank you so much for gifting it, the guy as ever. And also, my good friend Chris from Fleetwood has gifted 5 YouTube memberships. Chris, thank you so much. That means the world. Now, if you do want to join as a member, now I went to Knott End on a ferry, right? So if you want to join, so I did a vlog of it, and it was quite all right. I thought it's very different. You get to see a unique side of me behind the scenes of my videos. If you'd like to join, the link is down below. It's £1.99 a month, or you can pay more for extra perks as well. You get a video extra every week as well. And I think currently now with the gifted, there's 64 memberships. So with the gift on. So if you want to become our 65th member, the ones who have been gifted a membership tonight are Michael, Dave Hunter, Davey Pat, Nunny, Kyle Kirby, and Kieran Baines. So if any of them are you have won a YouTube membership. So thank you so much for everyone that's gifted as well. Massively appreciated. And you get bonus content as well. So let's move on to Rotherham against Burton. Rotherham positives, unbeaten in 3, scored 5 in 3 matches. In terms of attack, 19th most goals, 16th in terms of defence, 16th in terms of possession. Expected goals, 9, 3rd in the league, just behind Huddersfield as well in that, who romped that up there, what you say. Clark Harris scored his 110th League One goal yesterday. Well done to him. The next 3 games, I think you'll learn a lot about them. Birmingham, Shrewsbury, Cambridge, all to come. For Burton, they remind me very much how we were under Scott Brown 2 years ago. Now, after this stage last year, I think Fleetwood in the first 6 had won 1, lost 1, and drawn 4. Burton have played 5. They've not won. They lost on the opening day. They've not won in the last 4 games. They've not lost in the last 4 games. Their next game is huge for them. And I speak about this a lot about it's 1 game, and you'll say it's daft. But if Burton go and win their next game, you're saying Burton Albion are 5 unbeaten in League One. They've gone and taken 7 out of the last 5. good run that, and they're already better off than they were last year. If they lose the next one, they've not won this season, and they've not won in 6 matches. And going back from last season, they're on a poor. They've won 3 games in 20 odd matches. So the next game for the football club is that player. Good to see Horsey getting up and running. He scored 25 and 50 odd games last year for Crawley. I know he scored in the EFL Trophy game recently, but proper goal, I'd call that as well. Good point for Burton on the road. They went up, they went down, and back up again for a point.
Yeah, it's a very good point. I think if they were asked, they would definitely have taken it on the day. I think there's a little bit of controversy about Rotherham's equaliser the first time. Their equaliser, Johnson Clark-Harris, just looks about offside for the equaliser. But you get these decisions sometimes, don't you? In League One where it doesn't fall for you. But I thought they were excellent out of possession. They had to deal a lot with Stevenage, with Rotherham's directness. They dominated a lot of the first half, but still were able to come out and score, like you say, a good finish for Danilo Horsey. I think it's likely that now he's scored 1, the confidence will come back, and he'll sort of start scoring 2, 3, 4 in the next couple of weeks. I think it's a good point. Rotherham will be massively disappointed based on the stats. 5 big chances, 10 total shots, a lot of dominance in terms of they had less possession, but they had more final third entries, more entries into the box, more crosses. I think Rotherham will be disappointed that it's only just a point. But for Burton, they'll be absolutely thrilled. And like you say, if this game against Barnsley at the weekend is massive, isn't it? And to be honest, based on how Barnsley can play, it's one that you wouldn't put Burton past to win. So yeah, really good point for Burton. For Rotherham, I think they just need to be a bit more clinical. They have so many chances, and they just don't take it. And that's the reliance of they've made Clark-Harris the captain. It's difficult then to start another striker after him, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's difficult to bring off the captain for another striker. We had it with Tom Hopper. We made Tom Hopper captain, and it was the biggest mistake because you can't leave your captain out, can you? So yeah, it's hugely disappointing for Rotherham, as Ian says there.
Absolutely, yeah. If you do fancy some bonus content as well, the link is down below. Question from our good friend David, always a good chat about Burton, all things football as well. Elliot Watt didn't really perform last year for Salford. I think he got 16 assists the previous season. I watched him Stockport home and away of the playoffs and watched him also last year. And good player in there. I think that he needs to be given a bit more freedom. And when results come, Elliot Watt will come. Elliot Watt reminds me of a lot of Josh Vela in the terms of workhorse. You like him if he's yours. You're not a massive fan if he's against you as well. Talking of which, tell you what I found funny. Vela comes on the pitch yesterday, right? 20 seconds later, comes on. But ball skips past him. Goal. Thank you very much, Vela. The Fleetwood effect. Just saying. I thought I'd bring that up. Blackpool 2, Exeter 1. Steve Bruce in charge. Talking positively, openly, and he talked about retirement, which surprised me. And he's tried it; wasn't for him. And he's a really good guy. Speaks well. I think my favourite is he goes, I didn't know Blackpool had an airport. I thought, and it's good to see him smiling again. And one thing I'll say, he got branded again, this label with his football, and that's what people put her off, not because of the results. He kept Newcastle in the Premier League under difficult circumstances. Yes, he was able to spend some money, but he improved the team and he kept them up. And it wasn't great. He didn't really have a connection with the supporters because ties elsewhere. But again, Sheffield Wednesday went in at a difficult time. West Brom went in at a difficult time. So for me, I think some realism, the Blackpool are in League One, and it's good to see the supporters getting behind them. And I think what I like, they went 4-4-2 now. I'm not saying Steve Bruce is a genius, but I've been telling Blackpool to do that for the last 18 months, have I not? That
I was literally about to make that point.
Rob Apter out on the right-hand side, CJ Hamilton out on the left-hand side. CJ Hamilton is a player that can score goals. He's not scored enough. He scored 36 goals in 323 games. but he's been used as a wing back. He's been not used correctly. Why were you going to use that point as well?
I was literally about to mention the fact that the thing I liked the most about Blackpool yesterday was they went 4 at the back, and they had CJ Hamilton and Rob Apter in their preferred positions,
and
they won a game. What a surprise!
And Blackpool at home won 14 home matches last year, and their home atmosphere is electric at times as well. Husband scored 2 in his first 180 and has scored 3 in his last 5. Look, they had loads of chances. It's a great way to get back into the game for Exeter. Good free kick. They'll be disappointed that they switched off from kind of a dead ball situation, and unfortunately, they've lost the game. Exeter, look, they're worse off than last year. They've lost 3, they've won 2, won away at Bolton, beat Rotherham, and then lost the other games as well. The next few games are massive. Stevenage, Wigan and Orient. You could say they're up and down. Blackpool, good result for them. Good to see them back for all, Ballard and Joseph. From Blackpool got great forward options. Apter, Hamilton, Ballard, Kyle Joseph, and then they've got Ashley Fletcher as well.
Yeah. I've not really got a lot to add. I think Jordan Gabriel's return to the team looks a really well timed one. He had a really good game by the looks of it, and Lee Evans as well in midfield. He was brought in as a promotion winner with Pompey and with Ipswich, and he's come in and looked really solid. And there was a lot of questions about whether he would be able to last 90 minutes based on the little amount of appearances he's made, but he's come in and done just that. So yeah, great win for Blackpool. For Exeter, I think Blackpool away for Exeter is a game where their season's not defined on it, but if they go there and can get a result, like it's a good one. However, they just fell short yesterday. But I think this Exeter team, Ben, will beat some good teams this year. They've, especially down at SJP, they've got some really good players. Like I really like the lad that scored yesterday, Francis. He's a phenomenal little footballer. So yeah, good result for Blackpool. Get Steve Bruce up and running.
The main man. Well done on your new job role, Pepe, as well. And loving the podcast with
Tom.
Yeah, exactly. But I'll tell you what, I'm loving his podcast with Tom. So nice to listen to a podcast with Tom and to being a good guest on, eh? I love all the phone from the crew as well. Great guys. Next up, Northampton against Wycombe. Great result for Wycombe. I was saying before, I really like this Wycombe team. I think midfield 3 yesterday was Scowen, Humphreys and Jack Kershaw, Aaron Morley, who are good players. Look, you've got 2 loanees in there, and how Aaron Morley's not in and around the Bolton team, I don't understand. This Wycombe side are building something. They finished in the top 10 last year. I think they won 6 of the last 10. And Matt Bloomfield started slow last year. I think he lost his first 3, beat Exeter 3-2, where Lowe got the brace on the Tuesday night. And they started slow. They weren't great. And up to about January, then they clicked. Kone's coming and scored 6 in 22, which is a good return. And they've got Udo, who scored 2 and 2, who scored 10 last year as well. They've got a really nicely balanced squad, and you think he's a good League One player, good young League One player, experienced League One player. Luke Lee, who's obviously, I think he's out at the moment. Great attacking, great going forwards as well. And when they get him back, they're going to benefit as well. I like the defence. I like the manager. He's proven, I think, a lot of us wrong. And given time, giving players, given a budget, he's changed the philosophy in about 18 months. Going from Ainsworth to his style of football has been totally different. Look, they're not going to dominate for 90 minutes. Nobody will in the Championship downwards. Literally only a few teams in the Premier League can do it. Man City are probably about it against everyone. But great result for them. Away from home, I'm worried for Northampton this year. I know the results haven't been bad. Hoskins has only scored 5 in 25 since he won his Player of the Month award in November. He scored against Fleetwood, being one of them. But Wycombe scored 2 in the last 3 matches now. Udo 2 and 2. Great end of last year as well. Humphreys won the most fouls in midfield yesterday. Really like this side. And expected goals of 2.50 yesterday.
Do you know what I really like about this Wycombe team, Ben? The depth. Like, you look at the bench they had yesterday: Caleb Taylor, Tariq Backinson, Bez Labala, Alex Hartridge, Matt Butcher, Shamal George as sub-keeper, and Kieran Sadlier. That is an extremely strong bench, isn't it? When you consider the calibre of player as well that was in the starting 11.
As well.
Exactly. I think Kieran Sadler can find himself a little bit unlucky not to come on. But like you say, a good win for them away at Northampton. Admittedly, that the win was sort of put on a plate for them from Lee Burge when the second goal was a massive mistake from the keeper. But they went 1-0 down after what was it? 4 minutes for the penalty to show character. Like you say, Dan Udo, who we've known has done it at this level for Shrewsbury before, an excellent addition. And then Richard Kone, who's the really good story coming out of non-league and has seamlessly stepped into League One in
Ivory Coast, isn't he?
Hey,
Ivory Coast.
Yeah, I think he come from.
I think he scored against us on his debut. He came on at half time, and that I go back to Wycombe, and I love Wycombe away on a Tuesday night more. I come back to this game, and sorry to bring it back to Fleetwood, being 2-0 up and promise on a cherry going in and getting sent off. We were miles back. Wycombe were all over the place. And that was how Wycombe were in January, end of January. We're in September now, 8 months, how things have changed, how much improvement they've got in the squad, and how much Coney's coming up where he was a young kid off the bench on his debut because he struggled with a work permit for a while, didn't he, as well?
He signed him in this. I think it was just after the summer window closed last season, and they couldn't get him registered.
But the amount of improvement, that game got Fleetwood relegated. Loads of games got Fleetwood relegated last year, but Wycombe, if they can get things right at Adams Park like they've done the range with, they could really challenge. Like, we're talking about Bristol Rovers and Barnsley here. At this moment in time, Wycombe are better than them, in my eyes.
And the way they ended the season as well.
I don't think Wycombe are too far off where you're at. You might not agree there. Wycombe squad, the depth.
I think they're a little bit behind us. I do.
But mate, let's have a chat about it realistically. In your head, you think Birmingham are behind you.
No, I don't. No, I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
Madrid, no, that Real Madrid.
No. I think Wycombe are
not even Iran.
Are an 8th, 9th, or 10th place team.
Yeah, but you're the type that you're the type of Virgil van Dijk. We got Sean Rowan. You know, like
Sean Rowan's even better than Van Dijk, mate. Yeah, absolutely. I'm not saying Wycombe were a bad team, Ben. Wycombe were a good side.
No, Wycombe are a great side.
They're a really good
I've got a cold up the Ivory Coast. I've had a cold that's lasted a month. Mansfield Town now, first home win. Now, my video, just saying, I could have gone for a number of players for Mansfield because of the versatility of the likes of Jordan Barry, for example, Keanu Bacchus in midfield. It impressed me in the first couple of games that I watched him in. But I went for Lee Gregory purely because they've come up and they needed someone that knows his level. And 32 goals now in his last 86 League One games, and he's done more than that for Millwall as well. First home win, first win in 4 matches as well. But they've also only lost 1 game as well, where Christy Pym decided to turn into a very good jigsaw for the day, and even
signed for Lincoln on that day, mate. Rather than
Wolstons would be very happy. But Gregory doubled his tally, 4 goals now, 2 good goals. One of the closest games of football you will see in statistics. Expected goals of 1.17 to 1.15. 15 to 16 shots, 6 to 5 on target, and 51 to 49. Cambridge are bottom of the division, lost 4 of 5, drew 4-4 in the other one as well. They've now conceded 11 in 5 games, and Monk has only won 2 of his 17 games in charge. Talk me through it.
And they were, what, 3 days apart?
Yeah, well, and also, if you remember last year, Cambridge's season, their first 5 games of the season, I think they're 6 points worse off than they are this side now. And their last 8 games, the 32 games in between, they're awful. That's where they're going to have to go and get the points. Because if you think about it, they're always good between daylight, the British summertime. You can write it, Cambridge good when it's not. It's like it's all right weather. Then
when the clocks go back, they're rubbish, aren't they?
Yeah, coming up, isn't it? Coming up.
Yeah, I thought this is a game that if Mansfield want to do anything in the division, they want to prove that they're better than a Cambridge. And yesterday, I think they did that. I think they dominated this game in terms of shots. They had less shots actually in terms of dangerous shots. I'm looking at the Cambridge shots. Nothing really testing for for Pim in goal. Yeah, I thought they were excellent in possession, out of possession. They took the chances when they came. It was disappointing when Longello scored the equaliser, but they didn't phase them. They go back and they score again, and it is for so many newly promoted teams that aren't expected to do well. Like, you know, how we talk about Stockport and Wrexham, we talk about Mansfield and Crawley in a different light, not because they're too similar, but newly promoted teams need to be good at home. You know, when you get promoted out of any division, you need to be good at home. That's where you're going to get the bulky points. If Mansfield are strong at home and can pick up the odd away win, the odd point away from home, like they did at Barnsley, then this team are going to be really good. So, yeah, very good for Mansfield and a good win. I'm sure Cloughie is absolutely delighted.
I'm just reading Twitter after Brad put a message in the chat.
Yeah, is
it's still currently, it's League 1 and League 2 news. For me, you get more reliability out of. I'm trying to think what's unreliable. To be fair, yeah,
very good.
Yeah. So I could see it. There will be a video on that if he is gone. So I have got the next episode of the podcast. If you are interested in that sort of thing, that I filmed a podcast with. Just, you know, Brendan Wirradu and Ronan Coughlin. I was telling Ronan Coughlin actually before the game, you need to do this, you need to do this. He only goes and scores. Brendan Wirradu again, you know, to be fair, he did concede a penalty yesterday, but I didn't tell him that. But, you know, get me as a gaffer. Charlie Allen pick me up. Shrewsbury 0, Charlton 1.
Are we going against one in order, Ben? We've missed out Reading.
We'll go to Reading then. We'll go to Reading. It doesn't really matter, mate. We've
got your running order, mate. Don't have a go at me. I'm just following the order.
Shut up, you little clown.
Not my fault.
Reading against Leyton Orient. Great result for Leyton Orient. Not great goalkeeping.
Great goal.
Terrible goalkeepers.
Some of the goalkeepers in our five-a-side on a Friday night would do, Ben, that. Especially if you were shooting past them.
Oh, mate, I scored twice. Tell you what, playing against this bloke, right?
You scored twice.
He can't move, right? But he's bloody hard to get round, and he's strong. That's what I'd say. You can't shift him off the ball. That's what I'd say, Jakey boy. Reading, you know something, right? You know I'm a note, because I'm quite colour coordinated, right? I've not helped myself. So, just for example, I'll go here. Bristol Rovers. Where's my Bolton one? My Bolton Huddersfield one. Can you see that? Nice and compact, you know, like that. My Reading one, I suddenly decided, I'll write in green. I thought it won't be that bad. I can't even see a word that says.
Oh,
0.96 to 0.50 in terms of expected goals.
I'm just straying a bit, Nappers. But what does that say?
Yeah, seven defeats at home for Reading since we joined this division, and that's not bad for a side that struggled last year. 4 wins now in the last 16 League One matches for Leyton Orient. So a big result for them because they didn't end last season very well. Kind of tailed off when they couldn't get into the playoffs. Good result for them. They started last season poorly. I think they lost the first 4 and then got a point away at Blackpool. No, they lost first 3 and got a point away at Blackpool. Good result for them. A good place to go. They got a point there last year. Charlie Kelman scoring his 2nd of the season.
Season just started for Leyton Orient, and that's 3 points from 3, the top of the league. You maybe
that's ridiculous thinking like that.
I think it was really important for Orient after the defeat against Shrewsbury that they bounced back, and the international break probably gave them, you know, a little bit of time to go and reflect and think about what they didn't do well in that game, which was practically everything. And I thought yesterday, they were okay. I didn't think they were spectacular. Like you say, the goal, I mean, 9 times out of 10, it's not going to go in because the goalkeeper's not going to make a mistake like, what's his name? Cornaya Boyce Clark made. But again, a good performance to go away to Reading, who are so good at home, to go and win there is a really good result. Obviously thinking that Reading were going to win, which we'll come on to later in the predictions. I went big on Kelvin Evatt this weekend in my EFL fantasy team. Captained him. I thought this boy's going to score. He's maybe going to score 2 or 3 goals, and Reading are going to win comfortably. No, he dropped an absolute howler and didn't play very well. So, yeah, good win for Orient, and they'll be absolutely delighted.
Am I above you in that EFL fantasy? I'm currently top in
Well, yeah,
every league table I'm in.
I think you've run away with it, Ben. To be
Although
honest,
I've captained by accident Corey Adai yesterday, meaning to captain Louis Barry.
So
I mean,
Teapot
I said
League,
to Kershaw, right?
79
Realistically,
points in front.
if the amount of work I do on League One and League Two, if I don't finish inside the top 3 of the Fleetwood Town group, I'll be so angry. Like if I don't finish like well on points, like for FPL, I give up with that. But
What? You're you are. You're miles in front of our private one, and then the public
what is
one.
it? The
You
private
are
one
79 points,
between me and you.
and I'm second. Yeah.
Fucking hell, get in. Shrewsbury 0, Charlton 1. I'll talk about Shrewsbury first. Now I went to look at their overline statistics because they played 6 games now, and they've been in games. Like yesterday, they were in the game. Peterborough lost 4-1. They were in that game of football because they were 2-1 down after 5 minutes to go. They went for it. They conceded again. 4-1 takes it away from you. The opening day, Stevenage, I think it was 1-0. This could have seen the penalty. Huddersfield away, tough game for them. Beat Leighton Orient, lost to Wrexham. They were awful. They probably should be up 5 points in terms of performances. In terms of goals, 21st. Goals conceded, the 19th most. Possession, 22nd. Expected goals, 22nd. Shots on target, 23rd. Possession, 24th. Expected goals conceded, the second most. So for me, that's a worry. That's a sign of all over the board, you are not good enough to stay in this division. And I said this at the start of the year. I put them bottom, and I think it was harsh. They have been in this division for 10 years now. They are the longest serving team in this. The longest serving last year, I'd say their 10th year, and with the longest serving. I just think that the teams below them, that they were better than, that they could finish above 6 or above 8, slowly have gone out of this division. And that's what happened to Fleetwood. In your Accrington Stanleys, your Morecambes, your Forest Green Rovers, your Doncasters, your Gillinghams, your AFC Wimbledons, your Fleetwoods, they've gone. This year, I think it's the toughest year to stay up because I don't think you've got a team where you can go, they're definitely going to go down at the start of the season. Even with Shrewsbury, thought they're solid. Cambridge, they've added a bit of players. Gary Monk, experienced manager. Crawley, Scott Lindsay, and we'll come to them in a minute. Told me on Shrewsbury, we will come to them in a bit.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of criticism labelled at Paul Hirsch yesterday for his selection, and looking at it now, they decided to go with Funzo Ojo over Tommy O'Reilly, who's probably been Shrewsbury's best player this season, the Villa loanee. He didn't even bring him on, so I think there was a bit of discourse from the supporters and the management there. But again, I thought Shrewsbury they weren't great. Looking at the stats again, they made some big chances. They had a lot of shots, but nothing really that threatened Will Mannion. And we always spoke about this Shrewsbury team that they're just lacking of ideas going forward. And unfortunately, it's creeped up again. They weren't fantastic, and Charlton didn't really have to get out of second gear to beat them. In all honesty, they were just decent. Probably, if you're going to say based on the performance yesterday from Charlton, probably not a top 6 performance, probably a top 10, top 12 performance, and that's all they needed to beat Shrewsbury yesterday. So, look, Nathan Jones's Red Army, they continue to go on, don't they? What's that now? 13 points from 6. Teams will have games in hand on them, absolutely. But they've got points on the board, and that's 4 wins now for Nathan Jones's side, and they're looking at absolute menaces at the top end of that table.
Agree with that comment as well. Charlton won the 2 away matches, both by the scoreline of 1-0. I'm worried for them long term. I'll come to that in a minute. Guessing Hadley scored his first goal of the season, which is good. Gordon's already up and running. Coventry's improving. Doherty's up and running as well. In terms of possession, the 19th. Clean sheets, they're up there as well. In terms of shots on target, they're down. Expected goals, the 4th worst in the division. The difference is the clean sheets. They've got the most clean sheets in the division. They are defensively organised. Got one of the best defences in the league. They're very well structured and hard to break down. They won't be good to watch this year. They won't. They'll win games 1-0, go out your stadium, thank you very much. They'll score a lot of headers from corners, set pieces, be very defensively sound. Luton weren't great to watch at times under Nathan Jones, but they got results, and he brought a togetherness of get in, you know what I mean? And the group, the last minute block. And that's what Fleetwood are building at the moment. And to go back to them again, what I see every week, the basics in football, they do very well down at Charlton. And they weren't bad last year. They just drew 20 games. They weren't clinical enough. They just, in one area of the game, they'd switch off and they'd be all right. And they switch off and draw the game 1-1. If they can just turn 10 draws into wins, they're 20 points better off. They finish 75 points to get in the playoffs. It's a simple game, but it's true. I said the same about Lincoln the season before, when I think you drew 19, you drew something similar. 20. And you loved a 1-1 draw that year, or a 2-2 Forest Green, I think Exeter Fleetwood. You just loved it, especially on in that season. I wonder who your manager was who loved it, although he won 4-0 yesterday. But I really like this. In terms of goals conceded, really good. Goal score will come. They'll get better, Charlton. And look, remember last year they won their opening game, lost four in a row, then won 13 points. They're 7 points better off, the most better off in the league as well. Really good to see. We'll go to Stockport, and then we'll come to you boys. It'll be a bit like you can chill out at the end and just rant to me if you want, or talk to me. Good point for Stockport. Still unbeaten. The run goes on. Crawley Junior Turner scores his second goal of the season. Stockport County, Louis Barry again. Wonder of a player. Talk me through it.
Yeah, it was another decent game. One that Crawley again surprising me that they're actually dominating more games than I thought they would at this level, and to do so well against Stockport, I was really impressed by. Again, looking at the stats, they missed a couple of big chances. They had a generous number of shots, a lot of the ball. But again, similar to Peterborough, similar to Bolton, a lot of Crawley's possession is in the back 2/3 and not seamlessly struggling to cause issues to the opposition. And like you mentioned, Louis Barry, it's another good goal for him, isn't it? Anyone who put him in their EFL fantasy team this weekend would have done well. Some of us forgot to captain him by the sounds of it. But yeah, no, a good point, I think, for Crawley. Stockport will probably be a bit more frustrated, given the fact that they won the league last year and their start to the season, they probably would have gone to Crawley expecting to win. But I think Crawley are going to bloody some noses at home this year. They make it difficult, tight, packed ground, difficult to go to, and get a really good result. And for Stockport, it just sort of stops the momentum a little bit, doesn't it? Because they'd won so many games in a row, and then all of a sudden they drew with
good draws away at Mansfield and Crawley, though, difficult places to go.
Well, for me, Ben, they've won the league.
So many players are injured.
For me, they've won the league convincingly against Wrexham in the league that those two teams are in, and they've recruited better than both of those teams. They've got better players than both of those teams. I think they'll be disappointed, given the momentum that they earned at the start of the season, to drop points. But
taking 11 points from 5 games, mate, is unbelievable.
Yeah, look, you win your home games, you draw your away games, don't you? And Stockport seem to have done that this year.
Yeah, Stockport, they have got tough games coming up, don't get me wrong, but it's very difficult. I think Crawley got Wrexham away, Bolton, Mansfield and Wycombe, and Stockport got Orient in there, Shrewsbury, Wigan in there as well. Barry, 4th goal of the season, 14 goals, 4 assists in 28 games as well for that boy as well. One of a player. Go on then, Peterborough-1, Lincoln 1.
What, you want me to?
I'll tell you what I got.
I want to hear your version of the game, because I think it'll be different.
First point at home in 3 matches for Peterborough. Lost 1-1 loss, drawn in the league. Poku, 3rd goal of the season. 21 goals and 17 assists in his last 99 League One games. Ben also scored more goals this season than he did in last season in an injury-run season. He's open to better 12 and 38 in 22-23. Good result on the road for Lincoln that takes them to 2 points a game. You're taking it before the game, disappointed coming out of London Road with only a point. I thought if any side was going to win it, it would be Lincoln. A great point, a game that meant a lot more to the travelling Lincoln fans, with it being their cup final and it meaning as an FA Cup victory as well. Wink, wink, Darren Ferguson. Peterborough, slow start. It's at the start of a 2-year cycle, a long way off where they want to be. Lincoln will be feeling maybe if it was in 5 or 6 games' time, they could have lost it, but potentially they could have won it.
Yeah, I thought, just touching on Peterborough, again, we've spoken about it before. They love having the ball, and they love having the ball in the wrong areas of the pitch when it comes to an offensive
What is
model.
this about? Why do I keep seeing this?
Oh, crikey. Yeah, so obviously we sold out yesterday away at Peterborough. Like Rich said,
We sold out.
What, did they give you an allocation of 10 tickets?
332 they gave us.
Yeah, they so yeah, we sold it out, and you've been in that end of the Peterborough ground where on the side, which wooden seats, and see Richard's asked for my opinion on the away end there. It's horrific, isn't it? The wooden seats, it's like the really tight alleyways. It's probably one of the worst away ends that's covered in the entire EFL. And people obviously are wanting to sit in their seats. I think they're probably
you don't have fans like that, do you? Oh
my
God.
Well,
they're not in their seats. They're not.
Yeah, they wanted to sit in their seats, but they wanted to sit right at the back. But what I could tell, I mean, I was a little bit away from the commotion. There was a bloke who wouldn't move from his seat, and somebody else gave him a bit of a what can I call a knuckle sandwich to the side of his head, and he was bleeding. So that happened, and I literally, a lot of people spent the majority of the second half not watching the game, watching the drama that was unfolding, and it was like a episode of Coronation Street behind me. It was fantastic. Well, it wasn't fantastic, but it was live entertainment. It was better than the football, and the pricing as well. Rich has mentioned there that the price £27 for that away end is
was it 27 quid?
Is horrific. But yeah, on to the game. On to Peterborough. I thought they were. I don't know. Peterborough. We've spoken about this. Peterborough go in cycles, don't they? They bring in a load of good players. They develop them for a year, 2 years. They get really good. They have a season of challenge. They don't get promoted, and then they sell them all because they don't go up, and they start again. And Peterborough at the start of this cycle, they have a lot of the ball. They have there's restricted seats at Posh as well. Yeah, they had a lot of the ball. They didn't do a lot with it. They're very fortunate. They've still been able to keep some of the quality players like Randall, like Kiprianu, like Collins, and Kwame Poku, who scored the goal. It was a really good finish for the goal. I've got no issue. My issue comes with a Lincoln player, which I'll come on to. But we played really well. We should have won the game. I thought we were excellent. I think we pressed them really well. We won the ball back in the final third a lot. If we'd have just taken our chances, Tom Bayliss had one that went wide. Ben House had another one which he could have scored. Jovan McCarmer had one. And we're walking away from London Road Bank. Bailey Cadamartri had one. Walking away from London Road disappointed we've not win. That's progress, because I can remember how many other years we've been doing this. And then our next game's in Peterborough. I'm like, oh, we've got to go to Peterborough. I'm dreading it. I'm absolutely, because it's the one game that it's
like I do with Blackpool.
Yeah, it's not for us. It's not our big game. Blackpool for you is your big game, I suppose, isn't it? Peterborough isn't our big game. Grimsby would be our big game. But we just got such a bad record there, and to see us to score a goal there was fantastic. For us to play as well as we did, and I've actually got a lot of optimism going into the next couple of games. Cambridge and Wigan and Cambridge are our next two. Again, so yeah, not to make it all about Lincoln, but we played really well. The goal was fantastic. Should have won the game. Haven't, but 10 points from 5 is a really good start. And we're in the playoffs at the moment. It was a nicer trip to London Road than normal, Ben. Put it that way.
Out of interest, who do you think's got the best away end in League One? I'd be very interested to hear what you think on this.
Oh, let me have a look at the table, because
I'll tell you what I think.
I don't mind Charlton's. Charlton's
no,
is nice.
I hate Charlton's. Wrexham's is awful. Huddersfield is okay. Stockport is awful when you're in that corner. Lincoln's is terrible. Birmingham, it's not
Barnsley, I like Barnsley's.
Barnsley, yeah, it's very big. I love Barnsley away as an away game. Mansfield's not bad. I've only ever been it with Colchester. Wycombe's not bad again. Reading is shafting the corner quite far.
Stevenage is a good away end.
Bristol R is awful. Wigan, not bad like Barnsley. Exeter. I'll go with Exeter. Standing up behind the goal. Rotherham's is good as well.
I'm gonna go Burton.
You feel like you're high up, but you're not. Tell you what, I felt seasick going up so many stairs at Carlisle yesterday. I felt like I was like three steps higher than I was.
I like Burton's away end, Ben. The terrace.
Yeah, we were always on the side though. So
yeah,
yeah.
Shrewsbury's not bad either. Shrewsbury's away end's not bad.
If you've got any questions for the final 5 minutes of League One Live, that'd be appreciated. 81 people. If you could like the stream, that would mean the world to me. So if you could like it, free to do so, and also subscribe, because we've had a slow month for subscribers. So if you could just subscribe, get the numbers up, that'd be greatly appreciated as well. Good man, Jake, proper terrace. Bolton is grim. They always look to turn up at the right massive stand. Bolton or Birmingham, Mansfield away.
The stickers right at the top doors, don't they?
I love Barnsley. I'm going to try and get to a Barnsley game this year, but if I can.
You tried earlier this year, didn't you?
I was going to go to the one game against Bristol Rovers, then I ended up saying it filed, and then seeing a 7-goal throw. I've literally seen in.
Well, you were coming to Lincoln, Barnsley, weren't you? But then you.
Well, I'll get to a Lincoln game this year. I'm sure of it.
Good, because you're now on the sofa, because I've got rid of that mattress, so you're sleeping on the sofa next time.
Oh yeah,
you'll be all right.
Bloody hell, well done. Yeah, bloody hell, Jay. Thanks a lot, mate.
Well, it was clogging up my office, mate.
Do you think it was daft for us to give Scots Class Club captain? Yes. You want someone that connects with the fans as well, and we've got that in Brendan Wirradu. So, as things stand, where do you think the Brewers? I think 14th.
I'm gonna go 16th, just a little bit worse. Yeah. Purely because I think all the teams above that could probably argue a case for getting in the playoffs or competing for the playoff places.
There's small matter of Birmingham against Wrexham tomorrow. 28,000 fans.
I know we're going to miss it though.
What do you mean?
We're recording.
Yeah. I'll still watch it on the side, but obviously at League 2 Live tomorrow, if you fancy joining me for that, the numbers have been improving, and it's a good laugh talk all things football as well with Jack Kershaw.
Back on. The curse is broken.
Yeah, he is, absolutely. But yeah, Ben, what are you thinking for tomorrow? Because I think Wrexham can go there with nothing to fear, absolutely everything to gain, and really attack Birmingham. I think Birmingham could really be good at home this year. But if anyone's going to beat him, it could be Wrexham. Wrexham are up there for a reason, and Birmingham, are looking to win 4 straight matches for the first time for about 6 years, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting clash of styles, isn't it? Wrexham, Birmingham. Birmingham will want to dominate the ball. Wrexham will be happy without not having the ball. It's whether Wrexham can get up the pitch quick enough and not have it dealt with by these £4 million players that Birmingham have got everywhere, all over the pitch. I think what will happen, I think Blues will go a couple of goals in front. Wrexham will drag one back and make it tight, and then Blues will hit one. Wrexham will just be pushing for a winner, an equaliser, and then Blues will hit them on the counter. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Birmingham. But I don't like Birmingham. If you listen to the comment section of these live streams, I don't like Birmingham apparently, but I have them to win by 3-1 tomorrow. I think they'll be absolutely fine. Thanks very much, Joe. I might take you up on that offer. Thank you. And yes, I will. There's a membership video coming this week. I think it's a slightly different one, a quiz this week. And then the week after, there's 2 behind the scenes. One will be out Tuesday next week. So there'll be 2 next week. So if you do want to join us membership, you don't just get weekly videos, but there's 21 backlogged videos. You can go back to watch half an hour at Wembley, behind the scenes of this show as well, so you can actually see me doing this from like a different angle as well, like all my notes and stuff. So if you're interested, join down below as well. We are looking to try and get to 100 members at one time. That is the aim. So if you want to help me along with that, 36 away. Way to a man's heart, Sue. Way to a man's heart. One thing about EFL Fantasy. So say, for example, there's one Wigan plays Stevenage next week. If I put a Stevenage player in on Saturday... Wigan don't play Stevenage next week. A week on Tuesday, I said. No, listen to me. A week on Tuesday. Okay. If I put Jamie Reid in as my striker, would I get points for his Tuesday game as well? So would it be beneficial?
It's in the league, but there's only one league game. Does it have to be a full
No, because
fixture?
it's for a different game week, isn't it? It's a different game week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Right, okay. So it's
It'll
only
be a
they're only doing
different
4
different game
matches.
week. So just load your players up with Stevenage, whatever. Are there many games the week on Tuesday?
I don't think it will count. I don't know. I'll need to ask it. Trust me, Nappy's captain Paulie next week. You won't regret it. Right. I'll put him in.
Paulie
and
next
I'll
week.
play.
Who are we playing next week? Oh, Wigan. Or off the back of scoring 4.
Yeah.
You don't want him to get sent off like I had him.
You made the connection with Wiridoo. Have you seen the video of our plays at the end yesterday? Yes. And I really see a connection building. I think John Brayford always tweets about how good the fans were. Nearly 500 Burton fans at Rotherham yesterday. And I know geographically it's not miles and miles away considering what they have in this league. But for Burton Albion, for this, for a small club, and David knows what I mean by that, it's like Fleetwood. You get criticised. That's really, really good support. And Burton Albion actually, brought good numbers to us when they needed to stay up. Even when they brought 100, have been better fans than some fans that have brought 1,000. So Burton Albion fans are building something. The new ownership, the new manager, the new philosophy. It will take time, but they're going to get there. They'll win a lot more games than they lose. So, yeah, I could see. And again, unfortunately,
they're getting the backing from the town, Ben, aren't they? They're getting the backing from the town.
They need that, though. And Burton, the football club, is the one thing in the town that can pick them up. And it's a good place, Burton. And I certainly, we'll miss our battles against them as well. Jacob, about 6 points ahead of you. There you are, mate.
Yeah, all right, George, mate. All right. All right, maybe you should do the
100%.
podcast, George, instead of me.
As a percentage of the home score, it's decent. Right, that is it for tonight. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please give me a like. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Jake's podcast will be out tomorrow,
Tuesday, mate. Me, Fenton, and Lep are recording tomorrow night. So that will be good.
Fenton will apologise for this in advance, but you're gonna have to put up with. I know he's
they're fully well into it. And if Benson slags me off, I've got a video of him dancing at a wedding. So very, very happy to bring that out if he wants to say anything.
Absolutely. And I'd also like to wish everyone, like Tony's just said, good luck in the cup this weekend, Jake.
Cup on the weekend?
Cup, because I'm going to say good luck in the cup on Tuesday. You're going to go, good luck in League One next week. Ooh, you're not in League One. Just saying, those who said I wouldn't still do these shows. What are we now? 5th, 8th show in, maybe 7th, 8th show in. We're still here. So, and loads of League One content. We've got a couple of League One videos coming this week as well. So if you fancy that, you know where the subscribe button is down below. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, I'll see you later. I've been Cod's Vlogs. He's been a Muppet. Thanks very much for watching. Up the Cods.
Up the League One imps.
We'll be joining you next year, mate. We'll be joining you next year. Charlie Adam Ball. Meepo's going to score 25 goals.
Yeah. I can't. Where are you? You're not even in the playoffs. What a joke.
We've got a game in hand. Game in hand.
Who's your game in hand against, Snappers?
Salford. A big thank you to these guys as well. Lynx and Chris. You can get your memberships down below. Go and join it. Pay my rent this month.
Pay your rent? I need my rent paying. Pay for my rent.
Yeah, because you're I'm living in your head rent free.
Yeah. Interesting. Thanks, Tony. That means a lot coming from you.
What's he put? Oh, good luck for that. Bye all.
Ciao.